looking for the it piece of the season for women, it's the blouse. Blouses are making a big comeback, especially blouses that have interesting sleeve treatment.
Comfort and style in one. So we've got the jersey blazer, which is...
The jersey blazer is so hot
so
right now.
hot, exactly, because
Yeah.
it's so comfortable to wear. You can roll it up in a ball when you're traveling, bring it out, and you can wear it for dinner.
A non-surgical skin tightening treatment. We do it for body shaping, so you'll have a little bit of a contouring improvement for, again, thinning, aging skin on both the face, neck, as well as the body.
I hate the word age appropriate. We never, anytime somebody says that and they'll come into my salon and they'll be like, well, I'm 50 now, I feel like I should do this, or I'm 60 now and I should do this. That irks me because you really have to be style appropriate. You need to find what suits you, not your age.
From the Zoomerplex in historic Liberty Village, the Zoomer with Marissa Semkiw.
Welcome to the Zoomer. I'm Marissa Semkiw. Finding the right style for you can be like wandering around in a fashion limbo, somewhere between baggy sweats and haute couture. It's easy to get lost in a sea of rules, trends, and the so-called age-appropriate concerns. But fashion is more about individuality. So forget dressing for your age, because it's all about ageless style now. After all, you, Zoomers, are the generation that gave us the bikini, the mini skirt, and for men, the printed shirt. Why give them up? The boundaries between generations have been blurred. At the round table, I'm joined by several fashion and beauty experts for tips and demos on how to look your best and dress with confidence. We also have 2 live makeovers happening in studio, and we'll check in with them throughout the show. But before we dive in, let's tee up the topic.
There's a new wave of supermodels age 50 and over sweeping through fashion. In what's been called a renaissance, fashion brands are enlisting Zoomers and influencers to shatter ageist stereotypes. Trend watchers trace the start of this movement to 2014, when then 65-year-old Linda Rodin posed for The Row alongside several younger colleagues. Shortly after, 80-year-old author Joan Didion became the face of Celine, and Saint Laurent tapped Joni Mitchell for its campaign. Until then, Zoomers held a limited role in advertising, especially in fashion, despite their overwhelming spending power. A 2017 U.S. report showed that boomers 55 and older accounted for 42% of consumer spending versus 13% for millennials and Gen Z consumers. But this isn't the only reason fashion brands are changing their formula. Selecting women like Joan Didion, both an inspiration and intellect, says fashion is more than just faces who sell garments.
Cheryl Gouchou, beauty expert and editor-in-chief at Canadian Hairdresser Magazine, and Francesco Fontana, owner of Studio Fontana Hair, will be performing our makeovers today. Cheryl, why don't I start with you? What are you hoping to accomplish today?
Well, today for Maria, we want to make sure she still looks like herself, but the idea is to wear makeup so that it gives you more of an ageless look. I think sometimes we do things for a very long period of time and we don't switch it up, and as we age and as our skin changes and as our features change, we do need to change with that as well.
Fantastic. Francesco, what are you hoping to accomplish?
With Alfred, he has wonderful hair. His hair is like beautiful and curly. The texture is amazing. The color is amazing. There's just a very disconnected from the front to the back. So we're going to eliminate some of the bulk, but still keeping the flow happening and allowing the haircut to move more fluid.
And how do you guys feel?
Nervous.
Nervous? Have you ever had a makeover before?
Never.
No?
Never.
Is there anything you hope to come out of this with, or do you have a date tonight?
No, just looking better than what I did when I came in.
Well, I think you already look amazing, just so we're clear. All right, Alfred, what about you?
I'm gonna get a great haircut.
Okay, well, we'll check in with you guys a little bit later. In the meantime, I'm gonna head back to the round table and meet the rest of our panelists. Hi, guys. Hello. Marilyn, why don't I start with you? You know, boomers, they once rocked the fashion world, especially as hip teenagers. And today they have enormous spending power. And yet it feels like they've been left out of many advertisements when it comes to beauty and fashion. Why do you think that is? Why have Zoomers been left out of fashion?
I think they've been left out intentionally because the teenagers are the people who don't know themselves. They're the people who are insecure and want to find themselves. I think Zoomers, for the most part, have to be given credit because they are mind, body, body, spirit. They've worked on themselves their whole lifetime, and now it's the time that they can use what they've learned all their life to be comfortable in their own skin and to embrace aging and embrace the person they are.
Just to pick up on Marilyn's comments, I think for so long we've defined beauty as youth. But in fact, if you look back, Leonardo da Vinci, who's a physician and an artist, defines beauty in shape and contour. And medically, when I work with patients, I talk a lot about that. You know, like the arcs of youth. Like, what is it about the youthful face that actually is beautiful and as we age may change, but that we can now, with the modern set of tools, treatments, and technology, frankly, be proactive about.
So when it comes to fashion, what are the rules? I mean, for our audience, when they look at all these different trends and rules and age-appropriate concerns, what do they need to know? Are there rules when it comes to fashion?
I think it's not so much about rules, but it's more finding clothes that fit your body type. For a lot of my guys, it's more about finding clothes that fit properly, because a lot of them are used to their older style, which might be a little bit more baggier, a little bit more boxier in their cut. So it's more about modernizing what they're wearing, not following fashion or not following trends, but finding your best style.
What I really always say is, yes, there's tons of trends out there, but you really need to select those pieces that make you feel comfortable. Not just from a physical point of view, like it feels comfortable on my body, but comfortable with who you are as an individual. Does the outfit, does the piece, does the color, the print speak to your personality, to your character? And there are different fashion personalities. You might be someone, for example, I'm looking at you today, you look absolutely gorgeous, Marissa.
Thank you.
I can see from what you're wearing, you're somebody who likes something that's feminine and maybe a little bit on the sexy side. So those are maybe style elements that you veer to. Somebody else may prefer more classic pieces. Somebody else more bohemian, sporty looks. So, you know, I think when it comes to style, you need to find and really capture what you feel comfortable in as a style, and then head towards those trends that reflect that trend and make you really feel good about what you're wearing.
You're so right. I couldn't picture my father in skinny jeans, for example, even though it's very in style. I'd probably fall off my chair. But I am curious about some of those more classic pieces. I look around the audience, and I'm sure many of you have pieces from maybe 10, 20 years ago. So, for example, the double-breasted suit for men. That's very hot right now. Is that to suggest that maybe people should really hang on to these items in their closet for 20 years?
No.
No, because it might come back in style?
No, it's always going to be different. So for me, my rule is if you've worn the trend once, like a double-breasted suit, you shouldn't wear it again. And the cut is always so different from the first go around to the next trend.
Okay, well, when we come back, dressing for your shape and size, and later, a special gift giveaway for the audience. Stay tuned.
Look for pieces that have a little bit of a sweep or a diagonal drape, and this one does that. So that gives a little bit of a camouflage flattering effect through the tummy area. One shoulder, she loves her arms, so we've got one arm exposed, and as you can see, again, just a really pretty little flutter sleeve.
From Got Style and Jenny Iannucci from Melanie Lynn join me now for a more in-depth look on dressing for your body type. With so many different styles out there, it's difficult to pinpoint what works best for you. Here to show us are 6 models ready to strut their stuff. But before we bring them in, I need to ask Jenny, Melissa, and I'll ask both of you, what's the first thing you look for when you're thinking about styling someone? Is it their shape? Is it their personality? Walk us through your process a little bit.
Well, for me, the process is first to find out about their personality and what resonates with them in terms of style. Once we establish that and we know what the event they're going to is going to be, then we look at their figure type, and we really want to select pieces that accentuate, that really enhance their figure assets.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how about you?
I find that men tend to be more occasion-based when they're shopping, so we try to determine what they're shopping for and then find clothes that fit their body type.
Okay, well, why don't we bring in some of the models?
And this is the beautiful Debbie. And Debbie, when we were chatting, Debbie is actually a dragon boat racer. So she's always out and about, and she was looking for some pieces that she can take on these types of events with her holidays. And Debbie wears a black and white uniform always. So we said, let's break out of that mold. So we went with this beautiful coral jacket to start. This is the entire outfit is from Melanie Lynn, and this is a beautiful, buttery, soft faux leather. It doesn't button up, so it's a nice, easy style to wear, but it has some beautiful shaping. We teamed it up with this great cream top with the black piping. We're seeing a lot of graphic black and white combinations, so we thought this was a really pretty piece. Again, easy, comfortable to wear. And for the trousers, we went with a floral print. Prints are a big trend, and because she likes black and white, well, we thought we'll keep her in her safety zone, but push her a bit with the floral print.
Fantastic. All right, thanks, Debbie. When we bring in our next.
So this is Richard. Even though he's retired, he lives a very active lifestyle, golfing, running, music videos as well too. So he's going to a lot of auditions. And we want to show how guys can edge up their casual wear. But it's all about comfort and style in one. So we've got the jersey blazer, which is...
The jersey blazer is so hot right now.
So hot, exactly, because it's so comfortable to wear. You can roll it up in a ball when you're traveling, bring it out, and you can wear it for dinner. So easy care, and we've matched it up with a hoodie and then more of a cooler burnout tee. So again, that edgier look. And then Richard's also wearing something that women have known a lot about, stretch denim, that guys are starting to learn, and it's all about comfort, because we can do a deep knee bend, walk around a little bit, do a little turn.
Do you feel comfortable? Yeah. Well, you look good. And I love the shoes. Why the shoes selection?
So, dad running shoes are in, which are more that bulkier running shoe, but I find that if you're older, you need something a little sleeker. So this is something that's casual, but you can still dress it up if you have to.
Absolutely. You could definitely pair that with a suit.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, what have we got here?
Yeah, this is wow, isn't it?
It's
the
wow.
color is striking in this season. I love the fact that there's some beautiful saturated brights out there. Emerald green, reds, corals. And they're really beautiful for Zoomers because they're cosmetic. They bring life and light to the face immediately. We're also seeing, if you're looking for the it piece of the season for women, it's the blouse. Blouses are making a big comeback, especially blouses that have interesting sleeve treatments. You can see that this one, I'm just gonna get you to turn just a wee bit like that, Deborah, so you can see there's a little bit of a split sleeve there. So a little glimpse of skin. And this particular top has that whole kimono feel to it. And what we added to it, just to finish off the outfit, are again a pair of fun printed pants. These are a jersey, they're washable, they pack well. Deborah was telling me she loves to cruise. So she said, this is perfect for a cruise.
This is perfect cruise wear.
Perfect cruise wear, perfect for lunch, you know, bridal shower. It's nice, easy, comfortable to wear. And I think she feels really comfortable in it as well.
Okay, all right, thank you, Deborah.
Hi, Peter.
I love this blue.
It's about showing color for guys.
Absolutely.
So even as you're old, you can still have that brightness and color. And Peter's wearing a really great micro print shirt. We want to get guys moving away from the plaids and checks that they have in their closet and brighten up their wardrobe with a little bit of color. And we've got the vest for the layering look, so depending on where you're going, again, Peter's doing a lot of auditioning as well for TV shows and commercials. So depending on the weather, he can take the jacket off, but still have the vest to give him a little bit of comfort. And as we talked about a washable shoe, this is actually a washable running shoe for guys. So ventilated, extra cushioning, so really great for traveling too.
But I love the slim pant look.
Yes, and everybody should be doing a trimmer pant. I know when I first met Peter, he had definitely more of a fuller leg, and as soon as we put him in a trimmer pant, he lost 20 pounds.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
This is such a wow piece. I love this jumper.
Yeah, this is just a great outfit from head to toe, again from Melanie Lynn. And we're starting off with this wonderful topper, 3/4 length coats. You're seeing a lot of them. And I love them because you can wear them with a dress, you can wear them with a pant, with a jean. This is in a black and white optic print. Dots, polka dots are a big issue this season. And this is a modern take on it. Now I'm going to slip off Olga's jacket, and so that you can see what she's wearing. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of oohs, Olga. Yeah. So this is a one-shoulder jumpsuit. We're seeing jumpsuits as a big trend item, the cobalt blue, again, really cosmetic and beautiful up to her face. And when we were selecting something for Olga, she said, Jenny, I worry about my tummy. I said, don't worry about your tummy. You've got so many beautiful features to you know, focus on. But for somebody who is concerned about the tummy area, look for pieces that have a little bit of a sweep or a diagonal drape, and this one does that. So that gives a little bit of a camouflage flattering effect through the tummy area. One shoulder, she loves her arms, so we've got one arm exposed, and as you can see, again, just a really pretty little flutter sleeve. And finishing it off, some dramatic earrings. We're seeing a lot of statement earrings this season with tassels and feathers and beads, just gorgeous earrings. And again, a great little shoulder bag so that she can slip in her phone and off she goes and has a wonderful evening.
Now, I love this one because you often think about younger gentlemen, millennials wearing camouflage and whatnot, but it looks fantastic.
Well, Michael still does a lot of events, charity events, where he needs to dress up, and we wanted something different than your traditional tuxedo. So this is a tone-on-tone camo, and obviously Michael's a very athletic cut, and he has what we call the hockey butt. So we need to make sure we've got pants that fit the seat, but are comfortable enough to wear and still having that modern fit to them. So the jacket is made in Canada. We definitely try to have a lot of Canadian brands, but it is more of an athletic cut. So cut broader through the shoulders and trimmer through the waist to show off his great figure.
Fantastic, and indeed it does. All right, well, thank you so much. When we come back, we'll take a look at some exciting new anti-aging treatments on the market.
The treatment combines two technologies, so heat energy in the form of radio frequency, along with magnetic therapy. And this combination is stimulating skin remodeling, our collagen synthesis.
Welcome back. It's no secret, as we age, our skin does too. Signs of aging start to appear on our faces in the form of fine lines, wrinkles, maybe some dark spots. But what if there was a way to combat this? Dr. Perlman is a medical doctor with a focused practice in the area of women's health and wellness. She joins me now to discuss proven age-effective fighters. But why don't we start with, is it ever too late to improve the appearance of our skin?
Never. As a mom of two little kids, I think it's never too early to start sun protection, sun avoidance. And then as we age, it's a new era of, frankly, non-surgical, new treatment choices to enhance, to refresh in a way that, again, gives us the best version of ourselves.
So speaking about new treatments, you've brought some products with you today. Why don't we go through some of these? What's this one?
This is a product called Restylane. So these are used to create contour and shape. It's made of hyaluronic acid, a natural chemical that exists in our skin and actually holds about 1,000 times its weight in water. So it provides hydration from within.
And it adds plumping as well?
So this is going to volumize and perhaps add lift and shape, whereas a new category of injectable treatment in the way of skin boosters made of the same active ingredient, so hyaluronic acid, but with no structure, actually is hydrating skin from within. So this is a very popular treatment in Europe, newly available in North America. And we don't just want to add volume as we age when it comes to our face. We may actually want to remove unwanted fat, as in the double chin. New in Canada in the last few months is Belkyra, the first injectable treatment to eliminate the excess fat that we may have because of genetics, because of aging, or because of weight changes under the chin. And so this is a series of treatments we perform in the office.
Now, what do you say to some of your clients that may be afraid of injectables, that might be afraid of a needle?
Well, again, chemicals, so taking care of your skin, sunblock, needles. There's some very minimally invasive options that are performed in clinic, and then technology. So everything from evening out skin tone with photorejuvenation to skin tightening to new treatments that non-surgically eliminate unwanted fat.
Okay, so for the audience, you're going to be performing what's called the Venus Freeze skin tightening procedure. Genya, why don't you come out here?
Yay.
Genya, I have to say, you're so brave.
This way while I go.
We reach reached out to a number of our audience members and asked if anyone would be willing to expose their stomach on camera, and only Genya said yes. So,
Okay.
you know,
I'm fine.
how do you feel?
I'm fine.
Okay, very good. So talk to us a little bit, Dr. Perlman, about what this treatment is all about.
So what we're performing for Genya today is a non-surgical skin tightening treatment. So I'm going to check in with you as I start. Okay, you're going to start to feel a little bit of warming. The treatment combines two technologies, so heat energy in the form of radio frequency, along with magnetic therapy. And this combination is stimulating skin remodeling, our collagen synthesis, so that over a series of treatments, so usually that would be 8 weekly treatments performed in the clinic, you have this cumulative improvement in skin tone, texture, and tightness. We do it for body shaping, so you'll have a little bit of a contouring improvement for, again, thinning aging skin on both the face, neck, as well as the body.
And who's the optimal client for this?
So really anyone who's concerned about lax skin. That often happens in the abdominal area in aging individuals, largely women and largely after babies, after you've had perhaps changes in weight, perhaps pregnancy related, and that age-related deterioration I just spoke about.
And does skin complexion matter when you're doing this type of treatment? Because I know with laser hair removal, for example, it works better on certain skin tones than others.
Great question. There's so many treatments, even very widely offered treatments like hair removal that may be very unsafe for certain kinds of skin types or skin disorders. And so accurate diagnosis and skin typing is really important. Of course, we do that for all of our patients, but in fact, this is an extremely safe technology that's safe for all skin types. Doesn't matter if you're tan, doesn't matter if you're of a darker skin type.
And any downtime?
There's no downtime, no discomfort. Is that true?
I don't feel anything.
So it's like a kind of like a hot stone massage, but no discomfort. And yep, the patient can get up and go back to their regular activities, a total lunchtime treatment.
Now, I believe we have a before and after picture of what going through 8 treatments would look like, if we can pull that up on the screen.
You notice that there's an improvement, again, in the contour because of the tightening effect. And also with this technology, we see some improvement in the more superficial fat, so in cellulite. So there's a body contouring and skin tightening benefit that I think the picture really does show well.
Okay, Dr. Perlman, thank you. Now, before
You're
we
welcome.
go, we sent our cameras to Dr. Perlman's office where she demonstrated a different way to be proactive about your aging skin with a minimally invasive treatment called microneedling. Watch this.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take an in-depth analysis, a really comprehensive look at Bev's skin to kind of see what's lying underneath. See how it clusters right under your eye where there's some curvature.
Yeah, it's disturbing actually.
But all treatable. So the kind of treatments that we're going to use for Bev are going to help target both the redness as well as the pigment, the brown spots. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this medical texturized pad that, as I explained, targets redness, pigment, pores, vitamin A. Retinoic acid is the wonder drug for skin. And I use a technique here where I'm kind of taking hold of the skin and giving her a bit of a lift. This is hyaluronic acid, and we're gonna seal the skin after treatment with this.
I don't have a lot of time for downtime to take off work because I'm having treatments done. So this is just the perfect treatment. We can indeed choose to be proactive about our health, our well-being, our skin and appearance, and we can do so to help us look and feel our best at any age.
Now, one member of the audience will take home a gift certificate for a free full session of the Venus Freeze skin tightening procedure, what Genya was just getting, courtesy of Dr. Jennifer Perlman and valued at $1,600. Now, Dr. Perlman, take a number between 1 and 144.
22.
Who has the ticket number 22? Me. Oh, you're a winner. empty-handed, of course. We have promotional gift cards for everyone in the audience to use at Dr. Pullman's office, Pearl MD Rejuvenation. When we come back, the biggest hair and makeup mistakes you'll want to avoid.
If you're using brown lipsticks, brown was kind of a thing of the 90s, but it really draws, like it looks drab. So you want to give life to your skin. Anything like pinky rosy works for almost everybody.
Creatures of habit, but sometimes our regular routine needs to be refreshed or renewed because it can have the inadvertent effect of aging us. This is true when it comes to hair and makeup. Cheryl Gouchou and Francesco Fontana are here to discuss mistakes that you should avoid. Cheryl, why don't I start with you? What are some of the more common mistakes that we should probably steer clear of?
Well, as we age, one of the biggest issues we have is our brows tend to disappear. So we've either overplucked. Has that ever happened to anybody here?
Yes, unless you're Cara Delevingne, then you probably need a pencil.
Yeah. So like you said, fuller brows are actually in, but it really does depend on the person's features. And so what happens is we lose the frame of our eye. So it's really important to fill it in properly, and with that I just fill it in with like a shadow or with a brow pencil. The other thing you can do now is microblading, which is really great because you do it once and you don't have to touch it for like almost a year. So the other no-no is too much foundation, too much product on the skin. Of course, as we age again, we get fine lines and wrinkles, and we don't want too much product on the skin, like car paint. There you go. So what I like to do is I actually mix a little bit of serum with my foundation before I put it on the skin. So you're actually giving your skin like a treatment as well as something that you're going to be wearing on your face all day. So it's much better for you.
Is there some sort of applicator that you can use to ensure that it isn't so thick on our skin? I know I use something called a beauty blender, which is like a little sponge.
Great. Yeah, that's a fantastic piece. It's just a sponge that you wet, and it actually puts a little less product on your skin. I like using the little wedge sponges as well, or the beauty blender.
So how have you done it on Maria then?
So in this case, I've used the serum with the foundation, but you'll see the blush I've used is a cream blush. And I just apply a dot on the back of my hand, and I use the blush brush and apply that, so it gives her fresh skin.
Okay, and
so
lastly?
Last no-no is using the wrong lip color. So far, Maria, we haven't gotten to that stage yet. But the idea, she looks like she stayed in the pool too long. Yeah. So in which case, what I'm addressing is if you're using brown lipsticks, brown was kind of a thing of the 90s, but it really draws, like it looks drab. So you want to give life to your skin. Anything like pinky rosy works for almost everybody, really. Like you have to decide if you're a cool or a warm tone, because that's important too.
And how do you determine that?
You know what, you kind of notice it right away. Like when you put the wrong lip color on, it just, you see it, it kind of makes your skin look sallow. So you just want it to look lively, and that's why something like a rosy pink would be great for Maria.
Exactly, so with Maria, you'll be going with the rosy pink?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Cheryl, and how about you, Francesca?
Okay,
what are some of the things we should avoid? The one I do hear a lot has to do with finding the right color for your hair and making sure it matches with your skin tone. But how do we even know how?
Yeah, so that's a little bit more complicated than people make it seem. You can use your veins as a hint. If it's blue, it's cool. If it's green, it's warm. You can use your eyes as hints. If they're like cloudy or smoky or clear or freckly, it tells you a story. But the only true way is to see an image consultant and literally get your colors done for your optimal color, if that's where you're going.
And how about the gray on Alfred? Do you like
the gray on Alfred is perfect, actually. I love his hair. I wouldn't color his hair. Typically, we don't. There's only a couple of men that I have in the salon that their gray hair actually doesn't work on them. So we color it because it ages them unnecessarily. But he looks great in it. I would
a lot of people embracing gray. Now, speaking of gray, another no-no is typically when someone who is gray naturally thinks, well, I should dye my hair blonde. But that isn't necessarily the case, now is it?
Right, so a lot of clients, this is a big no-no for me. Like, it literally hurts me sometimes. Clients will come in and they've colored their hair lighter because they want the gray to blend in easier so that they can go a little bit longer, or so they don't see it right away. I mean, my mother's like 80, and we keep her hair very, very dark, and she looks very, very cool all the time. So it's more a question of doing the color that works for you, and not, if it's a budget thing, then you want to be lighter so that it blends in, you still have to find that right tone. But just saying to your colorist that, you know, I have more gray, I want to go light so that it can blend in is not the best reason to color your hair. You should color your hair so it looks fabulous on you, so that your skin glows and that you look younger and fresher.
But really, it's not about age. It's really about style.
Right,
Someone's individuality.
Exactly. So I hate the word age appropriate. We never, anytime somebody says that and they'll come into my salon and they'll be like, well, I'm 50 now, I feel like I should do this, or I'm 60 now and I should do this. That irks me, because you really have to be style appropriate. You need to find what suits you, not your age. If you love your look, even if it's silly, even if it's like copper and you should be like ash, but if you're like loving it and you're wearing, just rock it, that will surpass everything.
Absolutely. Okay, now before we go, Maria and Alfred are going to head backstage to get dressed, and they'll return later in the show for their reveal. Up next, our audience gets a chance to ask their questions. Stay tuned.
I would like to know some essential pieces for updating a wardrobe that aren't going to break the bank.
Welcome back to the Zoomer. Let's hear from the audience now, starting with Yvonne. What's your question?
My question is, I'm a plain Jane. You probably wouldn't think it because of the color of my hair, but I'd just like to know how to not just be wearing t-shirts, jeans, dark colors, thinking of going on a vacation, you know.
It's my plate too, how to be a little more adventurous.
Yes.
Well, there's a number of different ways. We can start simply with accessories. Even with a base of grays and blacks that you've got, you can really pop your wardrobe and give it some personality. This season, we're seeing a lot of really dramatic earrings, so with feathers and tassels and little fringes. So that might be something that you might want to incorporate.
You can just use layering pieces. If you have colorful tank tops from last season, you can actually throw them over your gray t-shirt and have a sleeved look with maybe a royal blue t-shirt on top of it. And use the scarf that you have. It can be made to work about 15 different looks. It can be a blouse even, and if you incorporate a print like the black and white jacket we saw earlier into that, you can add pattern to what you're doing without really accosting the eye for color till you get brave. But the nice thing is 8 pieces of clothing will give you 24 changes. So if you decide to break out altogether, a few tops, a couple pair of pants, and a few accessories, and you can be a new Yvonne.
All right. Thank you, Yvonne. Welcome to the round table. What's your name?
My name's Vern.
Vern, what's your question?
I would like to know some essential pieces for updating a wardrobe that aren't going to break the bank.
You can take 2 pieces of disparate color and mix them. You have a beautiful scarf, so if you played with the colors in that scarf, it would match. It would map your path so that you can play with color and not have to break the bank at all.
If you do enjoy pants, there's 2 options really out there, like a nice fluid wide leg pant. So if you don't have that in your wardrobe, it's a nice add-on that you can really dress up or dress down. And if you get it in a great neutral, then you can play with color on top and just have this great modern pant on the bottom. Also, cropped ankle pants are making a huge comeback. You can break out of the gray and navy and maybe try something like a soft dove gray or a white, now that we're moving into the summer season, and then just play with your tops, color on top.
You know, I should put the question to you too, Melissa. What should gentlemen be doing for that same question?
There's really a trend towards athleisure coming for guys. So again, that comfort style, the jersey blazer, a pant that actually has an elastic waist that you're allowed to wear in public.
Yeah, and you can mix and match and make sure. All right. Okay, well, Vern, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And when we come back, our makeover reveals. Don't go away.
On Facebook, Ethan writes, "Clearing out my basement and found my old parachute pants. Are they back in style yet?" On Twitter, Olivia tweets, "I hate needles. I also don't feel it is necessary to go injecting yourself with all these serums. Just love the way you look naturally. Hashtag beautiful me." On Facebook, Victoria says, "Finally dyed my hair blonde for the first time in 55 years, and I feel like a new version of me." Keep the comments coming in. And don't forget to log on to www.thezoomertv.com for full episodes and more.
Welcome back to the Zoomer. It's time for the makeover reveals. Francesco, Cheryl, how did it go?
We just did something very subtle and pretty, and I think she loves it.
Fantastic. Francesco?
Yeah, with Alfred, like I said earlier, his hair was really awesome and to work with. We just got rid of some of the back that was just a little unbalanced. I think he likes it. I think he looks really cool. With Maria, we just shortened it a little bit to freshen up the length, and I showed her how she can get volume by using an iron very, very quickly.
Okay, well, why don't we bring up their before pictures? You can look at them on the screen. This is Alfred and Maria before our beautiful stylists and hair and makeup artists went to work on them. And why don't we bring them out now? Okay. How do you feel?
Different.
Do you?
Very different. Yeah. They're amazing people. Obviously.
Yes. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your hair then, Francesco. What was the idea behind making Maria's hair look just like this?
Yeah, I just wanted to, like, her length was really drawing her down a little bit. So we wanted to bring up the length to about the collarbone, and we went with a further part over. Again, just to give her a nice sweep. It's a great youthful look, but it also helps with getting volume along the sides. Also, I think a mistake that people make when their hair is fine is that they layer it to try to get height. But when you layer hair, you have less density. So it actually looks thinner. So you may be able to create more height, but you lose fullness and volume.
Now, were you comfortable with your hair getting cut?
I wasn't really expecting it, so it was a surprise. But I'm pleased with the length and stuff. I am. I'm quite pleased.
That's good. Okay, and how about her makeup?
So one of the things that I noticed that I needed to focus on was her brows, and I reshaped them a little bit because really when you have a correct height, it really changes your eye shape. So it gives you that non-surgical eye lift, like I like to call it, when you do your brows properly, and that's creating some arch 2/3 over. And also I noticed that her brows started in the wrong spot on the inside, so it's about filling them in properly. And then I just did a really soft smoky eye, like a taupey smoky eye. And again, really fresh cheeks, so just use a cream blush. And like I was saying earlier about the lip color and what a nice coordination with the dress, but something pinky rosy just gives some life to the skin and it just looks more lively.
Jenny, you're responsible for the look.
Yes.
So why don't you walk us through this?
Well, I wanted to help Maria and get some color into her wardrobe. And as soon as she saw the dress, she said, oh, I want to try that on, which was very exciting for me because that was a dress I had selected for her. So it's in this beautiful raspberry color, and it's quite a departure from what she was wearing in her before picture. And in addition to that, what we gave Maria are pieces that have built-in structure. Rather than just loose, baggy clothing, actually clothing that sits a little closer to the body and has some built-in structure, and also details, such as this dress has this beautiful vertical detail. The jacket has this great vertical detail. It's actually creating length through the body and creating at the same time, because of the shaping, this dress has a beautiful little fit and flare silhouette. It's really creating a beautiful, well, not even creating, enhancing what she already has. She's got a gorgeous figure, and we're just enhancing it with the wardrobe pieces.
Okay, and let's turn to Alfred now. Francesco.
Yeah, again, with Alfred, I mean, he made it really easy for me because he said I can't cut his hair. So, but I agree. I think his hair is beautiful, and I actually wouldn't have cut it anyway, like much shorter than this. I think the biggest problem with his hair was how unbalanced it was and how disconnected it was. But his hair is beautiful, so all we did was kind of get rid of that big area in the back, but still left it long and flowy. And now I think if he wants to grow it, this haircut will grow out really awesome. And you can see the waves and the texture is much more fluid now.
Are you gonna grow your hair?
Oh yeah, I like long hair.
Yeah, even longer than it is now?
Yeah, I usually have
Ponytail length?
No, not that long, but the way it was. But he did a great job. I'm really happy.
Now, you don't typically gel your hair back like that. Do you think you'll maintain this?
Maybe. It depends. You know, I'm lazy when it comes to combing, but I do put product in it. But we'll see. You know, I just want to let it grow out and see what happens.
All right, now this looks like a different look for you. So, Melissa, why don't you walk us through that?
Well, I will say that Alfred had good style to begin with. So this is more just highlighting the two key trends that we talked about, that jersey blazer. So this is a 4-way stretch. So again, if you're doing a lot of traveling, you can roll this in your suitcase and it's really easy care. And then this is a jersey shirt. So it's like your favorite t-shirt that is now a dress shirt. Yeah. So easy care, comfortable, but with that micro print for a pop of color.
Now you're comfortable in slim cut clothing, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
So you would typically wear something like this, so you feel good?
Yeah, I feel like Montgomery Clift.
Will you go out tonight?
Sure, if they let me keep the clothes.
Okay, well, thank you to all of our stylists, our hair and makeup artists. Thank you so much. Let's head back over to the round table. So with only a few minutes left in the show, I thought that I would ask my panelists for some of their final thoughts. Why don't we start with you, Melissa?
I would say for my Zoomer guys is don't dress your age. I find a lot of my guys feel that because they're a certain age, they've got to be a certain way. But I think it's more dressing for the person that you are inside and don't feel that you've got to conform to what other people want you to be. So have a little bit more fun, irregardless.
Fashion is fun. Don't take it too seriously. Enjoy what you're wearing, because when you are feeling good about what you're wearing, it just comes out in spades. You're smiling, you're confident, you walk with a different air. So have fun with fashion and, you know, just don't take it too seriously.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, okay.
The age is just a number, and we all have to embrace who we are. And when we do that, we are able to own our own look. So there's lots out there to pick from. There's something for everyone. You can use your basics, you can update your wardrobe and keep moving, because as long as you keep moving, you're living and you're enjoying every day of your life.
To carry on from there, I talk a lot about ageless vitality, this idea that health is much more than the absence of disease and encompasses our energy, our well-being, our sexuality, and our beauty. And there's so many options. I talked today about chemicals, about needle-based treatments, and perform some technology. And I really believe that as we age, we can be proactive about it. And frankly, from a society, have this need for more aesthetic ideals, more beauty, fashion ideals for our Zoomer audience to see this on the runway, in magazines, in our culture.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for being here and for sharing your expertise. That's all the time we have. We'll see you next time. For now, it's time to zoom out.